Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'd like to share Istanbul 4 hidden sites through postcard paintings. So let's jump to it. So if you get the boat crossing from Kadıköy to the European side, you'll probably come across a mosque once you get off called the Yeni Mosque, which translates to the new mosque. And what I found really interesting about this place is that there is a statue of a guard at the front of the mosque, and it looks like he's just guarding the entrance or protecting the place. And I couldn't really find any information on this statue, but again, I just wanted to capture the moment and reinterpret this through my postcard painting. And then there's this mystery structure, which I discovered on a harbour side in the European side of Istanbul, in the city centre. Again, I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but I decided to capture the moment as, I don't know, it got me thinking about some kind of satellite that was kind of like reaching out into the Earth's atmosphere. And also got me thinking about some kind of UFO for some reason. But it just looked really surreal in the moment, so I decided to capture that moment and record it. In Kadıköy, if you go off the beaten track, you'll find a toy house. I can't remember where exactly it is, but it's quite an interesting house to look at, as the guy who moved there, he used to have a job moving furniture, and he was given lots of these toys such as bears that he was then asked to display outside of his house. So it's quite an interesting place to see, and there is some history about this house as well, as it seems like people like him used to live on the European side of Istanbul, but then were kind of forced to move and relocate to Kadıköy because of development in the area. And then this is a monument I discovered out at sea when crossing from the Asia side to the European side. And it's very strange looking. And I tried to dig a bit of research into this, but I couldn't really find any information. But it got me thinking about some kind of Egyptian obelisk. And it's funny because I also saw an Egyptian obelisk in the main city centre of Istanbul. What I've learned from traveling around Istanbul is that I think, you know, whether you want to call yourself like a tourist, you know, or someone that's going to a country to experience that country for the first time, I feel like you don't always need to follow what everyone else is kind of gravitating to, you know, the so-called main like tourist attractions, because like as I've tried to show through this video, is that you can find some really interesting things to see which isn't exactly on the main tourist attraction map. And so exploring these things has been really kind of eye-opening, because it's also made me think more about the history of Istanbul, the place I'm in. It's made me think more about like the culture and the people that live here, and the stories of the people that live here as well. And even though I'm painting postcards to respond to these places, and there's some element of imagination kind of working its way in, it still got me to think about my experience of traveling through this space. So I think if you are visiting Istanbul, it is still definitely worth visiting the main tourist attractions, as they are really amazing places to visit. But what I found whilst being here is to go and see those places like really early, because like we went to one place called the Basilica Cistern, which used to be a water storage space. We turned up before 10 a.m. and at that time it was really quiet. And obviously there were people, but you know, when we left, which was about 1 p.m. or 12 p.m, we noticed that it suddenly just got really busy. So I think that's the thing with the main tourist attractions. If you want to see the main sites, just try and get there first thing in the morning. That way you'll avoid some of the crowds, some of the main crowds, because they seem to come around midday. So yeah, probably just bear that in mind. But I think in this video, I just wanted to highlight that, you know, there are other ways to explore Istanbul. You know, you can just go off the beaten track and find so many new things to see that kind of, you know, that's still very interesting to see and gets you to think about the place that you're in. Yeah, so far, what would I say that really stands out to me whilst being here in Istanbul? I think to me personally, coming from the UK, it's the mosques. So this is one of the paintings that I created, the postcard paintings. And it's of the new mosque. And that's a mosque. That's the first mosque we saw when we came off the boat from the European side. Yeah, the Yeni Mosque, also translated as the new mosque, I think. And I think it's the mosques here that really stood out for me, because they're very surreal, and the art, and I'm really fascinated by like the arches there and the domes and these like tall spires like reaching up into the clouds. And it was my first time actually going inside a mosque, and I was really just impressed by all the detail and the decoration, and just how big it was on the inside. And so that really stood out for me. And I guess apparently there's a lot of these mosques in Istanbul. Apparently there's over 3,000. And I'm guessing there's mosques in other countries within this region of the world as well. But for me, the mosques here really kind of stood out for me. And I guess because I just haven't experienced a mosque before until coming to Istanbul. So, I decided to draw this, to paint this postcard painting responding to that, as part of 12 postcard paintings that I created under the project name Memories of Istanbul. And they've all been painted using black and white acrylic paints. And the project itself is almost finished, so that's why I'm not showing you the whole project yet. Yeah, so that wraps up this video. I hope you've enjoyed it and that it's given you some kind of new perspective. Yeah, so as mentioned previously, the postcard paintings are almost complete now. So I just need to finish them a little bit more, and then I'll keep you guys updated with the results. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys, bye.